friends, it's also a good time now to recognize all the sponsors. An event of this nature cannot be done without sponsors, and a lot of sponsors' advertisement is available in the souvenir. So I request you, when you have the souvenir in your hand, to check it out as well. And thank you so much, sponsors, for helping us do this year on year. With that, friends, we move on to the next program of the evening, and this is the moment we've all been waiting for. This is the super speaker for the day. And any guesses? Absolutely. We're going to hear Mr. CK Ranganathan, the MD and CEO of CavinKare, give us a view of what he does in times like these to reboot. A brief about the man who needs no introduction. CK Ranganathan was born in Kadalur in Tamil Nadu, and after a degree in chemistry, started his entrepreneurial venture with a company called CHIK Industries, which later changed to CavinKare. CavinKare, in a word, can be called as the David in the world of Goliath. Why do I use this? Because it has stood its ground and grown in spite of competition from multinationals like Hindustan Unilever and Procter & Gamble. They all play in the same ground. But CK Ranganathan, with his native intelligence and marketing skills, has really moved CavinKare right up there. And that's the native intelligence and strategies that we're going to learn today from him in his talk. Over to Mr. CK Ranganathan to give us what he thinks on rebooting.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed my pleasure to be with you and share some of my perspectives virtually. I was amazed at the title for the conference, Ctrl Alt Delete Reboot. I think that's a fabulous, well thought through one. Actually, as human beings, as business communities more so, we are at a crossroads. And it is important that we understand that it's time to reboot ourselves. Therefore, the title of Ctrl Alt Delete and Reboot, I think it's very, very apt. So I thank my friend Babu, who has roped me in. Thank you very much, Babu, for the opportunities given. We are all at a crossroad. And I would say some of the businesses, they have understood it much better. And the way things have gone and things are going, and how this will evolve, completely how the world is going to evolve. But a lot of people don't even have a clue. I think that's a very, very sad part of it. Particularly who are likely to be affected, they are not aware of what's coming. So this may come like a tsunami. One need to be careful. So the trend is changing. The times have significantly has changed. Tech companies are getting amazing values, and their valuation per se are much, much bigger than the non-tech companies. Gone are the days that GE or Walmart, these biggies, have a very huge turnover. Now I think the turnover may be there, but in terms of valuation, market cap, I think tech companies have really have gone past the traditional companies. And this tells us a story that I think we need to be also, there is something that a take home for every businessman, I would say. So why the tech companies are so special? They are coming into from a tech angle. They are a tech company, but they understand the domain and the product or services, what needs to be provided. They weave it so beautifully with tech, and the way they perform is very different compared to what we are doing. So the technology companies, what is so special about them? is I think we need to understand why they are exceedingly successful, like the Apples, the Amazons, Microsoft, Facebook, all these companies, Google, all are investing big time, big time on various projects. And the latest one is how the kind of metaverse is created by Facebook. And that seemed to be an in thing. Maybe in the next 4 or 5 years' time, it might create a lot of billionaires and paupers as well. Somebody gains, somebody will lose. We need to see how these kind of new technologies are going to play out. So one of the things trend we are seeing is online companies are buying offline competitors and consolidate their presence. They consolidate very beautifully, both online as well as offline. Both we are seeing. Consumer habits are changing very fast, and due to pandemic, it got accelerated at least by 3-4 years ahead is what we would say. So consumers are buying increasingly comfortable in buying things online. And more online sales have gone substantially high. So they suddenly realize the power of online informed buying. All these things, I think it goes a long way. Work from home, hybrid work culture, these are all here to stay. So what is very important thing is the tech companies I was talking about, why they have been exceedingly successful. Let us not call them tech companies. Let's call them tech at heart. Okay. They also do the same business what you and me are doing, but they use technology to the hilt. And those companies are winning big times. So what do? I think the data governance, the automation part, automation and also data governance is at very high order, is one of the very important thing we need to know. When everything is automated, the errors due to data will be much lesser. So its first creation may be a human. After that, I think subsequent creations, the value addition, all these things, I think very less intervention by human touch would be one of the important asks. And they have been doing it beautifully. So what otherwise a traditional company will do a job with 10 manpower, the tech companies may be doing with half a manpower or at best with 1 manpower. So there itself competitive advantage comes in. But that's only a very starting point, very basic one. What is very, very important is the ability to read data. Data has been said as the new oil, because we are all sitting on huge amount of data. Do we analyze it? Do we understand what the numbers speak? Because if you understand numbers do speak. I think it's very clear. So when you draw a trend line, when you look at a consistency, when you look at yo-yo of a particular company stocks or a mutual fund, you will be very clear as to what is that kind of this thing, quality of management. So every time when you invest, bet behind, it is a quality of management. It's what stock market always bets. So the consistency and the quality of management depends on that the premium is decided. And market will continue to readjust itself as the valuation goes up. As I have been talking about the change that's happening, so everywhere change is happening around us. And it is time for us to Ctrl Alt Delete, to reboot. The same way, how do we kind of reboot ourselves so that we not only survive, but also grow much more aggressively. So let's understand what is the technology companies, or at least tech at heart companies, are doing very differently. They may use technology as a competitive advantage. The automation of some of the jobs, for example, one particular job needs to be done by a traditional industry, the way we have been used to doing it, may require 10 people. Whereas the tech at heart companies may do the same job using 0.5 or 1% max. So there itself, they get a very competitive advantage on cost. but that's only a starting point. The biggest advantage is how they read the data, how they understand, how they analyze. So AI-led analytics, the inferences that's drawn, reduces so much more of human efforts. So the ability to read data, understand, analyze, and come out with very powerful insights, because that insights are a very foundation of their success. Once you have a phenomenal idea, and if you execute it well, I think you will really succeed. That's a very important thing. So how well they are able to mine the insights from the data, I think is a very, very important learning for all of us. So in order to reboot ourselves, it is time that we move in a way that how do we mine insights from the data? How do I use the analytics and the AI-led analytics? In fact, that kind of a platform, how do I move on to that? I think that would go a long ways in my viewpoint. I can tell you, our company, we are rebooting ourselves. We are very clearly seeing the kind of tsunami coming. The very important thing, what consumer companies succeed based on product ideas in the past. And it will continue to be there. Great product ideas will continue to win. But what happens is, to make the success easier, to make the success far more guaranteed, I think the data analytics would help big time. Otherwise, our traditional time, if you look at for market research to understand whether a product is success or not, is at least a quarter, we can say. From the time of introduction, at least a quarter to 6 months, sometime even 12 months to say before calling it, it is definitely attracting customer traction. Whereas in a technology companies, particularly online ones, they are getting to know whether an event is success within hours. But if they use technology in the offline industry like ours, there also they could able to reduce the time from the current, I can say 3 to 4 months time, bare minimum, to get to learn whether it is going in the right trajectory or not. And these things, they will start capturing it within about a week or 10 days. And that's a very, very important thing. So minutely they read the data. And that inferences done are more and more, they are perfecting. Some of the great companies are perfecting well and really making an amazing difference in their business performance. So therefore, let's be ready. The old rules doesn't work anymore, and it is important we learn the new rules of the game. So the corona, one of the things is, a lot of people were caught unaware, but some companies, they are able to prepare themselves much better. I can talk about our examples, the way we work. In the month of November, the corona, November 2019. So the corona was there in Wuhan, that kind of thing. It was appearing in a very small numbers. Now, press got very less attention. After some time, I think December, it started, more noise started coming around that. But many people across the world thought that is only a Wuhan story and nothing to do with kind of this thing and all. Though it is spreading there, the world was caught unaware because those people who traveled carried, and rest is history. We are all seeing that. So the corona event has created, some companies are able to predict. We are one among them. We closely watched. In the month of January itself, we said, let us be prepared for a work from home. So in February itself, we are able to secure ourselves with all the computers required, started making trials of work from home and so on. Why we are able to do that? When the corona really hit us, we are able to smoothly adapt ourselves to a work from home situation. I can only ask, there are other set of companies who have also done the same thing. I'm very happy to see. One of the reasons is our process is, that is happening. Worst comes, if it happens fully, if it goes across the world, what will be the kind of thing, what it will dictate us. So the work from home, therefore, the ability to be flexible, that came into our mind. That is why I think quickly we started practicing it before the pandemic started hitting. The full lockdown was there. So, so there are no black swan event happened just like that. There are enough indications, but I think we fail to ignore them. We think that it might not happen here. So many other reasons. Finally, I think when we are caught unaware, we are completely surprised. So black swan event is predictable, is what I would like to state. So in order to succeed and reboot ourselves as we reboot, I think it's important that we take and immerse ourselves, we take advantage of technology and leverage it to the hilt. So that is what I would say. So technology needs to be leveraged, and what to the best possible extent. That would go a long way. But that alone is not sufficient. I think it also calls for a lot of mindset shift, attitude. So some of the attitudes of the past, we need to let go and embrace some of them. I think that's very, very important thing. So it is one of the mindset, I would say it is possible to get a lot of insights if we read the data very well. So that's very important thing. Past is data required to some extent, but they will help. But I don't think you can so accurately predict kind of thing. So the predictive analytics and such kind of things is going to rule the world as we go forward. The mindset wise, I can tell one example of how we could able to overcome one of the challenges. In the year 1993, a lot of small industries were making shampoos, and before that itself. And we are all getting excise duty exemption. Up to 7.5 lakhs, if you manufacture, you will be exempted from that. So also, I think we mastered something. We got it done from multiple small units, availed their exemptions, and we started marketing our products. So thereby, we are able to price very competitively compared to multinationals who are at least double or triple priced than our pricing point. So the sachet shampoo market was completely booming on the backdrop of our pricing. People thought it's affordable and try it out. So that was the first this thing in terms of. But in the year 1993, the finance minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh, decided to withdraw the excise exemption for small scale industries. So all the SSI manufacturers all quickly assembled, association formed, went on to represent Delhi very aggressively. If you do that, all this thing in small industries will perish. And government was very clear, we are not going to change. So the small industries, despite so many attempts, we came back and said, okay, I think let's do whatever best possible. That time, it was the budgets used to be 28th February, effective from 1st April. And all our team members, my company, they all said, okay, now that the excise exemption is given, it's very difficult for us to compete with large companies. We'll be finished. So we have to raise our price. They can come down in price also, both advantages. So given that, I think we will be in a big soup, because they advertise, they used to advertise, and we never advertised our product. So that's the time, I think, is what I would say. I had a discussion with my top team members. It was very clear to us, either we go submissive, reduce overheads, accordingly, whatever it comes, allow a slow death is one method. Other method is fight it back. So we thought we should fight back. So what we did is, I in order to give them confidence, I addressed the staff members that we will come out with range of products. and we'll make it a success. Don't worry, we are here to stay. So even if excess duty, everything is implemented, every kind of this thing, we'll survive in a very ethical way. This is what very clearly said. So went on to that. We have a lot of products, innovative products in the pipeline. So wait and see is how I said. Honestly, there was not much of innovative products in the pipeline. It is to give confidence to the team so that the team don't quit. Because by the time you again hire, because that's one of the biggest thing, we should have good people working with us. So in order to make them stay, work with us, what we did is we gave a 40% increment in the month of April. That was those who were shaky. Suddenly, the employees got by surprise. Said, "Okay, the company must really have some plans. Let's wait. Let's not jump out." So they held on to that, and some products we introduced became a success. So that also we went down initially as predicted after the implementation of excise duty regime. But I think within about 7-8 months time, we started picking back very well. So we are very happy on that. The story doesn't end there. And we are able to, from there, we started growing very aggressively and a very organized way, competing with biggies, multinationals, head on head. So that gave us a lot of confidence. But what is very important note is, I talked about two mindset. One is going forward and said, okay, I will adapt to the change. I will play it well and ready to face challenge on par with the biggies. That is one this thing. The other mindset is, no, I don't think it is possible. Therefore, let me reduce my overheads. Let me slowly wind down, be ready for myself. So to look for other alternative business. So that, what happened to that mindset, because I was the only one who traveled in this direction. Nobody, because all of them are not sure. So eventually, if you have to look at, after about 5-6 years, all got wiped out because they never attempted. Their attempt was very different. So the mindset makes a big difference, is what I would say, in terms of how we approach, what is our attitude towards our own people, attitude towards customers, attitude towards your vendors, bankers, government, all these things, your mindset, your frame of mind will make a difference in determining your altitude. So one subject I want to talk about is passion. Passion knows no boundary at all. I think passionate people, they may start, they're very passionate, they believe they can achieve this, they can do this, and that makes a big difference. So as a result of that, the passion completely blurs the boundary. There is no boundary. I know I have money, I don't have money. I know technically I'm very sound. I don't know anything technically. All these gaps will get narrowed down if there is passion. Where there is a will, there is a way. So passionate people, some of the expansion, it is a once endeavor. Any businessman would look at, can I have a very passionate team members? That means they will curiously learn, they will come out with new, their mind will work almost 24/7. They will have a family, absolutely no doubt. But whenever they have free time, their mind will go back and think on what is the mission, what is there in their mind, what they wanted to do, coming out with new ideas, coming out of ways to improve. So that, I think, is one of the expressions of a passion. And another expression, if I am to say that, is if you do anything passionately, normal job, if you are not regular, like a job, if you do not as a passionate one, then within 7-8 hours, you'll become very tired. You won't have the energy. But passionate people, 16 hours, 17 hours, 18 hours in a day, they can work or do that job what they like. And they will not feel tired. They will just sleep for 2 hours, 3 hours. Next day, with a lot of enthusiasm, they'll wake up and look forward to the long day. I think that's very clear, another indication of passion. Do you love the job or not? So I think this is one thing that we need to all the time ask ourselves as businessman or businesswoman. We will naturally be passionate to make our business success. but can we create the same passion with our own team members? If you can, at least if I am to say that 30% of your team members are very passionate and comes out with a lot of ideas, and they are change agents in the company, I think you have a brilliant team. So my best wishes. Wish you all a fabulous year 22-23. And also I think technological adoption, would like to see some of the unicorns from here. So you may be today size-wise small or medium or reasonably big, but at the end of the day, can we make something out of this? How do we become very big than becoming a small swan in a pond kind of a thing? Can we go beyond? I would like to thank once again the organizers for giving me this opportunity. My best wishes to IFA Galaxy members for a fabulous year. And also, I'm very sure each one of you will be looking forward to rebooting yourself. And once you reboot, I think sky is the limit. But it's time to do it. So I would like to end my speech with one word of caution. Chase your passion and not your pension. Thank you.